Jonas, a young teenager, belongs to a pristine and orderly community where every activity is monitored and controlled.
Our elders had eliminated all of that so there'd be no conflict between us.
Citizens of this community appear to live in a world devoid of chaos, suffering, fear, or envy. A perfect world where they don't get to make choices of their own but are ruled by elders. A day before Jonas graduates into adulthood and responsibilities, he rides around, admitting that things and people have always felt different to him. His two close friends, Asher and Fiona, come riding along with him as they head to the nurturing center, a place where a baby's future is determined. At the center, they get to weigh a baby and finalize if they are to be given a name and qualify to be assigned to a family unit. The three friends have the last fun on that day, and they remind themselves of their friendship forever.
1, 2, 3.
Jonas has dinner later with his family and is questioned about his feelings for the next day. He feels anxious and a bit confused about his purpose. The day of the graduation comes, and the chief elder who oversees the entire community makes an introduction to the graduates at all levels. The ceremony begins with the release of the elderly to elsewhere, then the new children, the nines, and then the graduates. Each graduate is summoned by a number and is given a position in the community.
Instructor of the Middles.
Asher is assigned as a pilot. Jonas's number, 52, is skipped to the next number. Fiona is assigned as a nurturing mother, just like her father. Jonas feels tense. At the end of the numbering, Jonas is summoned forward and is not assigned a position, but he is selected to be the next receiver of memory. Jonas is also given a device like the others to instruct him in his new role.
We were not hasty this time. We could not afford another failure.
He opens it up in private and gets a holographic display of the 5 rules he must commit to as a receiver of memory in training. He is worried as some of the rules restrict him from sharing any detail with anyone else, and another permits him to lie to them. Jonas rides close to the edge and meets the current receiver of memory. He holds the memories of all of humanity, including past memories that have been passed down to him from generation to generation. He begins to immediately transfer memories to Jonas. Jonas is shocked by these new memories, and this makes him curious. He starts to ask questions as he also finds out there was another receiver before him. The man dismisses that question in particular and calls himself the Giver.
Let's go for a walk. A real one with your legs.
Jonas gets home and sees that his father brought home a child he named Gabriel that wasn't assigned a family unit. The next day, training continues. And this time around, Jonas is given the ability to see colors in the memories and in reality. In his time alone, Jonas is approached by Fiona, and she notices some change in his behavior and the new way he looks at things. He first tries to deny it, but later decides to show her a glimpse of what he sees, which ends up being a failed attempt. When Asher meets them, Jonas also tries to show him how to glide using a tray, but he passes, and Fiona accepts. Jonas holds her hands, but is alerted against touching non-family unit members.
Citizens are reminded that it is impolite to touch community members outside your family unit.
Back home, as Jonas teaches his sister how to dance, he's confronted by his parents and by the chief elder. As he leaves the shelter, he places an apple instead of his hands to take his morning dose of injection. This would allow him to feel more emotions. Jonas continues to delve deeper into the memories, and with that, he questions the beliefs and conformity of the society around him. He experiences love, joy, pain, and even physical and endless possibilities of the world that exist outside his realm. But Jonas wants more, and is then shown an incident of men slaughtering an elephant, and this hurts him deeply. At home, Jonas tries to connect with Gabriel, as he sees a possibility of this child becoming like him, a receiver. With Jonas skipping his injections, he starts to feel emotions more deeply, and also tries to share this new feeling called love with Fiona and his family. They think he is inappropriately misusing his language. He begins to give Gabriel a glimpse of the past and happy memories to keep him cheered up. Back at the Giver's house, Jonas encounters a past memory he wasn't strong enough to receive. He experiences the death of humans during war, and this creates a deep fear in him, one he wishes not to experience anymore.
Don't let this turn you away.
I'm not strong enough.
He only wants to experience love, joy, and not such amount of loss or pain. As he walks home, he comes across his friend Asher and then Fiona. He advises her to skip her morning injections so he can reveal something to her. Fiona promises to do this only if Jonah goes back to his training. The next day, as he heads back to training, he gets a holographic recording of the past receiver with his current trainer. She taught the giver how to play the piano, and because she wanted more, just as Jonas did, she got a memory of loss, and by that, reported herself to the chief elderly to be released. Jonas doesn't know what it means to be released, and so the giver shows him a morning footage of babies being released in the nurturing center. Jonas sees through this footage that the babies who are being released were killed instead. He is infuriated that even his father carries out such procedures, but the giver tells him that his father isn't even aware of the effect of those procedures. Jonas meets with Fiona in a private location only visited by the three friends. As she waits for him, she lets him know that she broke the rules by skipping the morning injection, which made her curious and anxious. She thinks because he's the chosen one, he is allowed to break some of the rules. Jonas, being so eager to share his feelings with her, holds both of her hands and asks her if she feels anything. Since this was her first time experiencing emotions, she didn't have the words to describe how she felt. It was warm and nice. Jonas then kisses her.
Fiona, there is more. So much more.
Fiona doesn't even know what that act is called. Jonas goes home and notices that Gabriel is not in the house. He asks his parents, and they tell him that Gabriel failed his maturity test a second time, and so he had to be released. This sets him on edge. He refuses to join his family for dinner. He makes plans to escape during curfew hours and rescue Gabriel. He doesn't blame his father for giving up the child, given his state of ignorance. As he tries to ride off during the curfew hours, Asher notices him and tries to block his way. As he warns him of breaking the community rules, Jonas tries to convince him of the good in what he is trying to do. They argue back and forth. Jonas gets frustrated and punches Asher in his face and then takes off. He rides to the giver and asks for a way out of the boundary of memories created by the elders. The giver brings out the map and strategizes an escape plan. The chief elder back at the station becomes increasingly suspicious of Jonah's sudden divergence from the norms. Jonas's mother notices her son is missing and immediately sets up a search for him in the community. As the giver makes a plan with Jonas, a transmission of the chief elder appears. She questions the giver about the whereabouts of Jonas. The giver pretends not to know about Jonas's whereabouts. They have no choice but to believe him as they cannot view inside the premises, but can only hear his voice. The transmission has ended, and the giver gives Jonas the map to the boundaries of memories and sets him off to go rescue Gabriel. Jonas has decided to sacrifice his safety and comfort to expose the truth and to set his world free from the years of ignorance. The search continues, and the elders have begun to look into videos of the past months that played in Jonas's life. All the times he's missed his injections, and his private hideout with Fiona is now revealed. Jonas is already heading to the nurturing center, and there's a security alert over his missing location. When he arrives at the nurturing center, he is seen on surveillance by the elders. He rushes into the center to meet Fiona and asks about Gabriel. She doesn't tell him at first, but he warns her that the child is in danger. She finally reveals where. The chief elder summons the elders, and security is instructed to detain him on site. Jonas and Fiona must now hurry to get Gabriel out of that floor before they arrive. As Jonas tries to find Gabriel, he pleads with Fiona to come with him. He knows that leaving her behind would mean putting her life in danger, as she would have to answer for his escape. They find Gabriel in a room, but there is a nurse there. They wait till the nurse leaves the room due to an alert for a security checkup. He takes Gabriel and pleads with her again, but she refuses. She thinks about her family unit and the other babies. She isn't prepared to leave all that. She insists on staying. Jonas promises her a better future and that he'd come back for her no matter what. Fiona kisses him and carries a different baby vacuum, urging him to leave while she distracts the others. Fiona runs past them and they chase her while Jonas takes a different route headed for the exit. She is able to buy him enough time to exit the vicinity before he gets caught. They chase him and he rides with Gabriel in front and toward the edge of the boundary. As he gets there, he jumps down the cliff with the bike, but lands perfectly well on another surface. He keeps going and doesn't look back. The search is terminated since he's gone beyond surveillance and restrictions. Fiona is examined, and it's found out that she's missed several doses of injections. Right then, Asher walks in with a security personnel, trying to explain the situation. Fiona reminds him of their friendship bond, receiving an injection at the same time. The chief elder leads some security to the giver, and he is captured and imprisoned. A ceremony of loss is held in the community for Jonas, but his little sister Lily doesn't believe it to be true. Back at the station, the chief elder talks to Asher about carrying out a secret search for Jonas. She's instructed him not to inform anyone about it. When he asks about the ceremony of loss, she says it's just a facade. Asher is instructed to be rid of Jonas. When he finds him, he agrees. Jonas's bike is out of battery, so he walks with Gabriel wrapped in clothing. Asher sends a drone and begins the search for him. It doesn't take long to find him. Jonas tries to convince his friend to let him go and pretend he never saw him. He asks Asher to trust him. Asher proceeds to capture his friend anyway.
If you are my friend, if you ever were my friend.
It sucks up Jonas and drives to a river before letting him go. Asher tells Jonas that he trusts him and then releases his friend and the child into the water. The chief of elders comes up and he reassures her that the job is done. Jonas survives after safely landing in the water. He must struggle to survive as he journeys through barren lands to get to the boundaries. That is his only option. He cannot go back now. Asher would be punished for letting him go, and so would Fiona. He fills Gabriel with good memories as they journey for days. Fiona has been approved by the elders to be released to elsewhere. As her death comes near, Jonas tries to find the edge of the boundary of memory. While he's in the snow trying to find that edge, he loses strength and collapses, sliding down. The giver tries to convince the elders and stop them from executing Fiona, but it proves worthless. Jonas regained consciousness with the cry of Gabriel, and he sees something he's seen before, a sled. He hops on and rides down, tucking Gabriel in tight. While Fiona is near to getting injected, Jonas slides and heads for the boundary. He goes right through just in time to save Fiona. Immediately, memories are restored to his community, and everyone comes to a realization of themselves.